Brought to you by Nordic Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. We're here with Stian Blipp,
Yes.
what I like to call Norway's Hugh Jackman.
Wow. If you say stuff like that to me, I will bring it with me forever.
You should, though.
Yeah, I will
because
put it in my bio, like Norway's Hugh Jackman, and I'll quote you. And luckily, you're a doctor. So when
boy.
people say like Dr. Mehdi said it, they're like, wow,
A
doctors
doctor.
know what they're talking about.
Because look, let's be honest here, man. You are an all-round entertainer. You have hosted more shows than I've watched. Like, truth be told, you're a comedian. And most importantly, you are a father,
Yeah.
and you're basically my age. That is Norway's Hugh Jackman, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
And
you
you
so much.
are jacked. You're not exactly...
I'm not you, but like I can lift.
You're a dad, man.
Yeah. I have that, and that's a good thing about being a dad. If you're in good shape, people are like, how does he do it while being a dad?
Yeah.
And if you're not, people can say, well, he's a dad.
He's a dad.
Yeah, so you're safe on both ends.
That is cheating.
Yeah, that is cheating. Yeah.
But welcome, man. Really.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, and I know your schedule. I know you actually have a show in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So the coffee should be strong.
Yeah, I asked for a coffee, and I think I got motor oil in my glass. So I've tasted it. Like blood came out of my nose, but it's very good.
Do we have a doctor on site?
Yeah, you.
Right.
Yeah, you.
I guess we do.
Yeah.
Dude, so first of all, what is your workout routine? Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, the shirt is throwing us off. It's like a chameleon puked on it.
Yeah.
But the body under is a Greek god.
Yeah, it's trying to. I'm trying to get attention away from the body. Yeah, and on the shirts. No, but my workout routine as of now, I'm because I've always loved working out. It's been like a essential part of my well-being since I was like 16 years old, and but I've always needed a reason, a goal, like going to the gym just to kind of keep in shape. For me, that incentive hasn't been enough. So I need to kind of say, like, in 12 months, I want to do this, or I'll sign up for like a obstacle race in Copenhagen. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna train for this,
Right.
just so I have that when I feel like I want to stop or I don't want to go today. I have this thing hanging over me. It's like, you probably should go do it.
Yeah, you need purpose for that suffering.
Yeah. So right now I'm 32. So I think I'll see how much my body can endure at this age. So I've set a goal that I want to see how much weight I can lift off the floor. So I've set, like, I want to do 200 squats. I want to do a 200 kilo deadlift, and I want to do a 150 kilo bench press. So
How much time you have?
What?
How much time do you have to accomplish this?
Like way to like I said, this summer I want to at least do the 200 squat and the 200 deadlift.
Okay. This summer is soon.
It is soon. Thanks for reminding me.
This summer is months away.
Yeah.
So how close are you?
At the squats, I'm at 180.
Okay, 20. Okay, you're there.
Yeah,
You're
so
there.
20. Just eating some more Big Macs, and I'm there. And at the deadlifts, I'm at 175. But like I did that a couple of days ago. Felt like I have a couple of kilos left in me. But in the bench, I tore my shoulder like August 2 years ago. So I spent a lot of time like getting that back in the game. I was doing
Rehabilitated.
I was like doing 30 kilo bench presses, and that was painful. But now I'm back at like 120 or something.
That's good. That's good.
And it feels okay, but still, when it's that amount of weight, my shoulder, like, it's that subconscious thing of my shoulder just wanting to back out.
Yes.
Like, we've been here before, man. Let's
Yes.
get out.
I mean, it's a scientific fact. After injuries, your central nervous system fires less
Yeah.
because it's afraid of that imaginary threshold that caused the injury.
And I can feel that because if I'm right below that threshold, nothing happens.
Right.
But it's as soon as I'm pushing it, I have to consciously like say to my shoulder,
It's
like,
okay.
yeah, it's okay.
Shh, it's okay.
Hey, this is nothing. You remember what we used to do? Like, we're good, man.
We're still talking about the shoulder. Right? I was just not sure.
Yeah, like
You were so convincing.
sometimes to the other thing as well. Yeah.
You were very convincing.
Yeah.
No,
remember
but it's true.
remember the good old days, man.
And the shoulders like, yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, we can do this. All right. I'm with you.
No, honestly, man, this is a majestic goal. But do you have someone to guide? Are you with a PT? Are you doing this alone?
No. So I've never used a personal trainer.
Never.
No, and the only reason is because my schedule has been a mess. So I sometimes, like 2 times, I started off with a trainer, and when I had to the 6th time I had to say like, oh sorry, something came up and blah blah blah. I was like, oh man, this is just not working right now. It's more of a hassle because I get bad consciousness.
Because you can't be letting him down when you're not a quitter.
Yeah.
I see your point.
So that was a bad experience. But now I've been working with a trainer who has been like insanely, like 2 years ago I think he was like Norway's strongest man in like the 80 kilo.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's insane. He's doing like 350 kilo deadlifts and like 350 kilo squats. He's pretty, and he's like he's a couple of centimeters shorter than me. So
that's impressive.
He is insane. He
definitely doesn't need to talk to his shoulders.
No. Like his shoulder have their own personality. Like his 2 biceps have their own work. He's insane. So he's guiding me. So I'm with him once a week, and he's texting me like, okay, this is what you should do today. If you're doing 2 more workouts, let's try to do this.
Do you have any unconventional methods, or is this straight up like strongman 5x5? Like
no, like I find it unconventional because I've never encountered like his way of setting up my workouts. Because suddenly it was like, okay, today we're doing 20 reps of all this stuff. And I was like, holy shit! And the next time is like, we're only doing 2, and we're doing 15 of this. So I hope he has like I don't hope he's just punching numbers into the telephone.
He's out there with a couple of guys. Okay, we're gonna do
57 reps today. No, so but he told me, because I like the only reason that I think I bought a year with him, and I said like, can you look me in the eyes, because my goal is to be the strongest person I know. And he said,
I guess we can be friends.
Yeah, shit.
Gauntlet thrown.
Yes, sir. Like, I don't want to compete with this.
Meet him outside.
Yeah. So I try to find like very weak friends right now.
You guys will get along.
Throwing your friend under the bus.
Well, friend. No, it's all love.
No, but and he looked me in the eye and he was like, if you do what I tell you, I no problem.
I mean, he has proven, like, jokes aside, he has accomplished that.
He has
gone through that.
Yes, and that's my philosophy in life as well, because I do not I'm not comfortable in seeking advice. Yeah. Like if I'm thinking about, should I do this job or this job, or like I have this goal that I want to achieve, I don't want advice from people who hasn't done it. And that sounds no, but it can sound arrogant. But let
me give an example that backs up your statement. Yeah. And if people think they're arrogant, like, so this is a very concrete example. I'm not bitter, but this is a concrete example. So there was a time in my life when I went to high school in the US.
Yeah.
And when I came back from the US to Norway, I was fulfilling my last year of high school.
Yeah.
And there are certain academic points, math grades, that you have to sort to enter medicine. And we had to translate the grades from American into Norwegian. You know, A, B, C into 6, 5, 4, and etc. So every school has an advisor, a rådgiver, right?
Yeah.
And we know that these people have not accomplished, like, she wasn't a doctor.
No.
So am I sitting down taking advice from someone who hasn't accomplished what I'm going to accomplish. And unfortunately, based on that experience, which went horribly wrong, pushed me back 2 years. I would not say it derailed me because I reached my goal.
But it set you back.
But it pushed me back 2 years because she guaranteed that the path to medical school did not involve this class. Even though I had already taken in the US, she guaranteed that translating this grade into biology was not necessary. We could only translate it into R2 math.
Yeah.
I enter Malta University, which is 5 years accelerated course. So you do medical school in 5 years, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And guess what they say?
Where's your biology grade? Yeah. Of course, and that is like that's a horrible example of it because it really impacts you directly. But I think
I'm not bitter, but it was a good.
yeah, but you always remember that stuff.
You do not take life-changing advice from people who haven't experienced it to a certain degree.
No, like I truly believe in like talking with people and hear people's thoughts and stuff, but I never take action on advice that I don't feel truly resonates.
Right.
So I've always been that way. If I want to learn to be, if I want to be a great comedian, I want to hang around the people I feel that are truly successful and that I look up to, and I want to be that nosy guy who said like, how do you do this and how do you work? How do you? And if they share their advice, I'm like, okay, it has to be something. It has to be something here because this guy is doing everything I want to do. So I'm.
But that's also humility.
Yeah, it is humility,
It's humility.
and I believe in that.
Right.
Like if you,
because you come from, like they say, you stand on the shoulders of giants, right? Whether you like it or not, you would be regarded as one of the Norwegian giants that the future generation will stand on the shoulders on. And
I
saying
hope so.
that, I think we're sure. and saying that, you are already keep seeking, these heroes to look up to and their advice. That is humility because we don't see that often today. We really don't. But it's needed.
Yeah, and I feel that is the key to everything. If you want to do something amazing and you have someone who's doing the things you want to do, like just go to them and say, hey, I really want to learn from you guys, and can we just talk about this? Can you give me some advice of what I should do? Like 99% of people who's good at something love to teach as well. Yeah. So that's been my experience. Like every time I've felt like kind of stupid, like, hey, can you show me how to do this? People have 99% always said like, yeah, of course. Yeah. What do you want to know? Yeah. And I think people also, they feel appreciated as well, because you're not exactly saying I love you, you're amazing. You're saying I want to learn something from you, and by saying that you're saying like I kind of look up to you. So you make pretty good bonds as well. Yeah. Like a lot of my closest friends in the business has been like firstly mentors or people that I've been like, hey, can I, if I have a rough time making a decision, can I call you? Can I come over to your house? I just want to spitball something. They have become some of my closest friends because now, like I've been in the business for like 10 plus years, and suddenly they're calling me, and so like, hey, like we're doing this thing. Could I talk to you? And like that, and it starts off with somebody saying, can you please take me under your wings? Right. I want to, and that. Yeah.
You still found your time because you're not busy.
I find the time like not as much as I hope to, but being a father and having a busy schedule, it kind of it humbles you in the sense of, okay, I have a very limited time like hanging out with my friends. I have a more limited time achieving my goals and dreams than I had before. Right. So your priorities are much better. If somebody calls you, like you want to do something and you really don't want to do it, you say no, because like your time is precious now. Yeah. And if somebody calls you and like, oh shit, I really want to hang out with my friend right now, you do it because, yeah, you have like the resources are scarce, so you spend them a little more scarcely.
Wiser, even.
Yeah, wiser. So
yeah.
so you end up doing you have a better life actually, being that busy, because you don't do a lot of shit that you don't want to do.
Exactly. I've actually heard this. I had this friend who was okay, he was impactful in his community.
Yeah.
He had 2 kids. He was an architect, and he traveled constantly resurrecting buildings all over the world, from Chile to Germany. And on top of all this, he still had time to host community building exercises and non-profit organizations. And I asked him, like, how do you prioritize your time? How do you know what should come in, what should come out? And also, like, how efficient are you? And he goes, the funny thing, and he says exactly what you said.
Yeah,
The more stuff I have to do, the better I get at doing them.
that's true. That is true.
And it's like, how come? And he goes, no, because now you spend it wisely.
Yeah.
You pick wisely. And then when you're doing it, you do it way more efficiently.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because everything like scarcity is powerful,
Yeah.
because you appreciate things. Like if you do not have a lot of food, when you do get some food, you're like, oh shit, amazing. And it's the same thing with time as well. If you my time, I have very limited time.
Mm-hmm.
I can use these 2 hours hanging out with my best friends. You're like, oh, this is amazing. Like those 3 hours with your best friends, they like before when I was did not have children.
Right.
Like I could spend a weekend at my friend's house in Bergen when I was there. It was like, hey, it's cool, but you didn't think it over. You didn't come in the door like, hey, this is amazing. We're gonna spend the weekend together. But now, if I get like a day at my friend's house, I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah,
This is vacation.
yeah, and the same thing when you're picking your work as well.
Yeah.
You know that, okay, I need to have something that gives me energy, because wow, there's like 10 things that needs my attention, like my kids, that
Exactly.
I never want to compromise on, like my attention to the kids.
No.
And so if there's something that throws me off balance, that makes me like a not as good father, a less attentive husband,
Mhm.
like I'm pretty, like, if you asked me 4 years ago before kids, like I would talk completely different about this, because I felt like I had all the time in the world. But now I feel like I have to be a little more selfish, because if I pick the stuff that makes me happy, I can transfer that energy to my wife, to my kids, and to everything
Exactly.
else.
It's a community now that rests on your shoulders. It's
Yeah.
not you anymore.
No.
It's a whole, generational line on your shoulders
Yeah.
that you go home to.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people forget that your own well-being is also your family's.
Yeah.
Because somebody wants to take the role of I can be unhappy so you can be happy. Some people do that. Like
Right.
I hate my job, but I work every day so
Right.
you can be happy. But your family and your friends, and they want you to be happy,
Yeah.
or else you're kind of this energy drain. So I think if you feel that if I have a lot of energy, if I come home from work happy, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? That's always much better.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
so people feel selfish if they do like selfish choices, but if you, yeah,
Yeah, that's why people like dogs more than cats.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
End of discussion.
Yeah, you come home and they're like, wow.
Energy.
Yeah, it is
Happy.
energy.
It's
Yeah,
contagious.
it is.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I mean, is this why you entered the field you entered? Because
Like the entertainment.
Yeah.
I for me that was just a calling, I think, if you can say that.
Okay,
I was
okay.
actually like, I thought I was going to be a football player.
so what happened?
Like serendipity.
Yeah.
I always loved like being on stage and fooling around. And at my school, my teacher was like an amazing guy. He was playing in a local band, and he wanted us to do all these wacky things. Like, when we finish this school year, we're gonna do like a Beatles show, and like taught us to play the guitar. And so we always got to like perform some silly stuff for the parents at like the end of the spring.
Uh-huh.
And so I always found that amazing. I did some theater, but I never thought that like this was a path. It was just a fun thing that I was doing. And I got a lot of injuries because of my I was dancing a bit and I was doing football, and I was this crazy guy who never backed off any tackles. So like my ankle broke and my knee started hurting already. It's like 17, 18. And when my ankle broke, I was like, oh shit, I can't do anything. I have to wait like a half a year before I play football. So I started doing more of the stage stuff, and I tried like to write some jokes, and I attended. They had like a stand-up. Like kind of a stand-up competition for students.
This was in high school?
Yeah, I think I was like 17 because I was
okay.
not old enough to get in the place, because it was on Facebook, and I just said, hey, I'm a 17-year. I'm not a student, but I would love to attend the competition. Could I join you? And they're like, yeah, it's okay. We just put an X on your hand so they know you can't drink and blah blah blah. And I actually won that competition.
Whoa.
And the people who were running the stand-up, like the big stand-up club in town, were like the judges. And so the one guy was like, do you want to try yourself at like a real stand-up stage? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I started...
On your first, you could say, gig.
Yeah. But before that, I had been doing a lot of shows, like some dance shows and some beatbox. I just loved being on stage.
Do you remember the specific bit you did? You still have the memories of that?
Yeah, it was something that I was talking about my home, like where I grew up, because it's a very outbackish place. So I had a joke that the local currency in my hometown was wheat or something. You could put that's the only money we have, and something I don't remember it, but it was just like painting the picture of how kind of hillbilly this place was.
Love it.
And I started doing stand up, and the ball just started rolling. The local radio station asked if I want to do be a this crazy outgoing reporter. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. I had my first real job. I think for 1 year I was working every day, but the contract was for 250,000 for 1 year. Wow. And I was like, I'm rich. I've made it.
This is it. Bye, Mom.
Yeah, bye. I'm retiring.
Cutting up all my friends.
Yeah.
Changing my name.
Yeah.
I'm not answering texts.
Yeah, I'm made right now. No, so I kind of just got. I fell into this rabbit hole of entertainment, because when I started doing the stand up and all this, I was hanging around a lot of comedians, and I was young. I remember when I was 18. We had this 18 party. I can now get into the stand-up club without the fucking X on my hand.
I lost the X.
Yeah, baby. So
that's hilarious, man.
yeah, so I kind of surrounded myself with people who love doing who love being on stage.
Right.
And that was very inspiring. And kind of I felt like I found my tribe. Kind of.
Is this circle still the same circle?
If we meet now, the people I came up with, it's like we never left.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm still despite my success, I'm still the young asshole from Bergen, and the personality is kind of fossilized back then. So and that's pretty good. That's how you are with good friends as well.
Yeah. That's what you want.
It's what you want. Yeah, because they don't give a shit. If I can come off stage. I've had a show for 1,000 people. They've been on the club stage doing a late night stuff. They don't give a shit, and I don't give a shit. We just meet up and just have a good time, and that's very liberating. Because in this line of work, if you're with family or friends that you don't see a lot, you always have to kind of talk about it. Yeah, I saw this. How is it?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy to do this?
Yeah.
And you kind of get tired of just talking about yourself in what in the third person, kind of.
Yeah. Always re-establishing your origin story.
Yeah. Instead of just kind of, hey, let's please just talk about
like a Spider-Man reboot constantly.
Yeah. So
I feel you.
yeah. So I just fell down the rabbit hole, and I never got out. So when like my injuries had healed and all, my world had suddenly changed because I had found, as I said, my tribe. Like I was like, this is the community I've been looking for, I think, longer than I thought. Because I always felt like kind of the odd one out.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I see that. And sometimes I do think, because we've had a lot of, you mentioned before, high school dropouts.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of successful high school dropouts. In fact, we've had a lot of highly successful, some of them Forbes billionaires.
Yeah, wow.
That, said, high school is not quite for me.
But
what is your perspective on that?
I think that, because I would never tell anyone to not go to school, because then things would
right.
Yeah, because I have a lot of young people like sending me DMs and stuff like, hey, I heard you have no education and I want to quit school and do something. And I always say, like, please don't, because I think what I had and what some other people have is that early drive, like that something has clicked into place and you're like, I have to do this no matter what. I want to pursue this life on stage.
So it's like you found your meaning early?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it clicked into place, and the thought of doing anything else was just
right.
I was frightened of the notion of doing anything else than this. So that drive was just like, okay, if I quit school, I will do everything in my power. I will wake up at 8 a.m. I'll start like call up people like, can I come? Can I join your dance lesson? Can we meet up and write some jokes? So I just tried to grind every day to like make up for that time, because I knew in the back of my head, like, I don't want to quit school and just fuck around. No. I need to do what I think they would do in like a what you call it, because I applied for what's called musik, dans og drama.
Oh, so like
arts,
dance,
yeah,
and
performing
drama?
arts.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't come in. So when I then started my like the other, which was like just like kind of, I don't know what's it called in English, but you get a little bit of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
The line in school, like
the line in school. What? Yeah, realfag. Yeah,
Right.
allmänfag.
Right. So it's kind of like sciences and common knowledge.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
get
It's
a
common
little
line.
bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, try this stuff, and
Right.
after 3 years, you know a little bit of everything.
Right.
So I started off, but after half a year, I was just,
Half a year.
Yeah, half a year, I was just like, what am I doing here? Because I'm going another, like first, my plan was to, okay, I'm gonna quit and I'm reapply next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to do like 2.5 more years of this when I know I want to do this other thing. So I'll reapply next year. But after I quit school, that was when the ball started to roll, because they say you have to be in the right place at the right time, and I how can I say it? I always wanted to be at the right place. Yeah. So
But that's a huge responsibility to put on your shoulders.
It is.
How do you nail the right place at the right time?
No, you. Yeah, like the right time you cannot control that, but right place you kind of can influence that.
I see.
That's my feeling, because if you're on stage like every night, grinding it out, and you're hanging out with other people who's in your same line of business, you're collaborating, suddenly that right time will come.
Yeah.
Either somebody sees you on stage, or another comedian that's you're warming up for is like, hey, this guy, or something else. But if you're sitting at home just waiting for the phone to call, nothing will ever happen, because you may be the biggest talent that the world has ever seen, but if you're not out there, nothing will happen.
It reminds me of stock and investment advice. They say time in the market always beats timing the market.
Yeah.
And that kind of correlates to this,
You never know when to
buy
buy or when to sell, but
Right.
if you just stay in there,
just stay in it.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I think that, but you need a lot of courage,
Right.
because you have to always kind of fight that feeling of, now I'm a little bit too much. Hey, remember me? Can I join you again? Hey, it's me again. Can I show you my jokes? But you kind of have to do that,
Yeah.
because at one time they were like, okay, fuck it, let's
Right.
see it.
Right.
All right, we can do something with this. We
Right.
can start off with a little trial thing and see what. But then the ball's rolling, and you have your opportunity. But it's too many. Like, I see a lot of people, like young people that try to aspire to be actors, or like they think that them being really good is enough, and their ego is so big that they really think that if people don't see this, it's their loss. And like, they go to school every day, they hone their craft, they're really good, but like going to an audition for a play that is not like right for them, or they're artistic.
Why did your accent turn British?
Right for them. This is not Shakespeare.
Going to a play that's right for them.
Yeah. So they never get the chance, because their expectations are too high, too early.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine as well, who wanted to be like a TV comedian as well, like never wanted to do any of the shitty jobs, because he thought that he's so good that if the best shows don't call, he don't want to do it. And I think you have to be prepared to, like, I say eat some shit.
Yeah.
That's what I always say, because like, if you're starting off in a company, or if you want to do your own thing, or you want to be an actor, or you want to be anything, you have to be prepared to eat some shit, because
for a long time.
Yeah, and the thing that's driving you is that you know that I'm really good, but that nobody else knows that yet.
Look at Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Look at how much he tried in this comedy and acting environment for so many years. Like, now he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest comedian on stage, right?
Yeah.
But people have forgotten how many movies he was actually in before he got big. And now watching back in retrospect, the guy was on Soul Plane.
Yeah.
Like, what? The guy was on 40-Year-Old Virgin. Like, what? He's in everything.
Yeah, and before that, like, being a little guy, none of that. He had none of the power. He was just like, you see early clips, just trying shit out on stage, being a little unsure.
Exactly.
And that's the thing as well in showbiz, that and like in any other biz, people don't see that.
No.
People don't see the work you've put in. They think that overnight you just popped up and say, "Hey, I'm an awesome guy," and everybody believed it.
Yeah.
They don't see the path and
foundation.
They don't see it, and so you have to have that drive, and you have to know that you're really good, because that's what pushes you forward. But you have to always expect that people don't know that yet.
I like that.
Yeah, so you always have to, like, I'll do this shitty thing, and they will see like, oh my god, this guy is pretty good.
Yeah.
We should put him in this less shitty thing.
Yeah.
Not the good thing, but the less shitty thing, and maybe the moderately shitty thing, and then the good thing. So yeah, and I think you grow on that as well, because
you hone your craft better.
You hone your craft, and you do the steps that I think puts a nice suppressor on your ego, because if you have to kind of do the hard stuff, and when you reach your goal, you feel accomplished. You feel like, I really deserve this, and I appreciate it, because it's a lot of shit that I had to do to come here. But people, I see it a lot, young people who, like, big on TikTok. Like, they just made a TikTok account, and in 3 months they're on talk shows, and boom, they're stars. They lose, they're floating onwards to the moon right away. Because at in the 1 second they were like, "Hi, what's this TikTok thing?" And then in the next hour they're on Ellen DeGeneres.
Right.
So they don't have that perspective of, like, I did a lot of things to do this, and I have a foundation. So if I have to do something, I have this I cannot do because I'm not good enough, but this I'm really good at. You're just floating around, and people around you are saying you're awesome. You.
So what are the damaging cons of success too fast?
Yeah, I think that is you believe the bullshit because showbiz is mostly bullshit.
It's an illusion. It's
yeah,
a business.
It is not the real world.
So you start believing it.
You start believing it, and if if you are a host of a big TV show, people will say that you're amazing, you're really good. Don't listen to the other people. You're doing great because like the TV companies and like the people you work with, they want you to be like happy, and so you start believing the shit. So you lose a sense of self-insight, I would say. And
long term, obviously, that's not sustainable.
It is not sustainable.
You will not grow.
You will not grow, and you will become depressed. Because when that time comes, when people say like, okay, we've seen this now. What else is it?
Whoops.
Yeah, like, for the last 5 years, I just thought that I could just be this awesome guy. So I haven't done like that much to...
So basically, it's like by going through years of torture and eating excrement.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
You develop certain skills and certain, let's say, talents that prevents you from being a one-hit wonder later on. And thus, longevity is guaranteed.
I think so.
I agree with that. I can see that, and I can absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, it's like if you're playing basketball and you have an amazing three-point shot. Like, I can put that every time. And people throw you in the NBA.
Right.
And you're like, oh, shit, I don't know how to dribble. I don't know how to pass. I don't, like...
guard, help. Yeah, I see
like
the
the fundamentals are not there, but I have an amazing three-point shot. But then we cannot use you for anything else. And the second another guy comes in who has a slightly better three-point shot, you're out. Because you don't have like the game sense. You don't have you're not a veteran. Like you don't have anything that kind of complements your place there.
It reminds me of these people who win the lottery.
Yeah.
Like they literally go from broke to £100 million overnight. And then we hear...
depressed.
Yeah. 2 years later, they're depressed and broke.
Yeah.
And then you go, what happened? They didn't hone the skills of building that wealth, so they did not have the skills to retain that wealth. No,
you don't have that sense of what is this value and how can I distribute it and what's like how much do I actually need? And it's
that's a really good. Honestly, I'm glad you brought this to light because we live in a world of instant gratification now. Everybody, well, not everybody, but majority of the people, if they got two choices, instant gratification or hard, long journey of it, they'll pick that.
Yeah.
And hopefully, after what you've said, they might think twice because this will not be sustainable if you pick it without going through.
No, you might have like one amazing short journey, but I think that internal feeling of knowing that I really know what I'm doing, I have something to give in this environment, and I will continue to grow and like learn things. So when the next guy comes along, that's also a good three-point shooter.
Right.
I'm now a good three-point shooter and I'm a good dribbler, so I will stay ahead of that guy.
Yeah.
And when that guy learns to dribble, I have an amazing game sense. I can see the plays that nobody else sees.
Wow.
And if you forget that, if you buy into that bullshit of that you're God's gift to anything,
God's gift.
but some people think that like this business is lucky to have me.
Wow.
Like either it's showbiz or in an entrepreneurship, everything. Who gets a stroke of genius, kind of just think, okay, I don't need to do anything else because I'm a genius now. Yeah, but it's a lot of people who think
I don't
that.
need to do it. Dude, it's scary.
It is scary.
I get terrified thinking anything close to those words because you're guaranteeing yourself to fail.
You are. Like, if you're not guaranteeing yourself to fail, you're guaranteeing yourself to feel bad.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have to use showbiz because that's the thing that I'm most accustomed to, that people like come into the scene and they take off, and suddenly they realized that like I don't really know what I'm doing, because I had this funny thing on YouTube or anything, and now they want me to do all the shows, and they slowly realize that okay, but I don't really know how to do this. You go into it like you feel bad because I'm not supposed to be here, I think, but I need to let them think that I know what I'm
like
doing.
Imposter syndrome sips in.
Yeah, and the real imposter syndrome, because you're really
an imposter.
You don't. Yeah, you're really an imposter, and I see people all the time who feels like that, and it hurts me because that must be horrible. Like being a place, because the imposter syndrome, that it gets us all. It gets me as well.
Very true.
Yeah, like I've been doing this thing for like I've been standing on stage for 15 years. They will soon see that this is all just bullshit. But
smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
we see it.
Yeah, I've called you out, sir. But if you get the like not just the imposter syndrome, but if you really feel like they're asking me to do this, and they want me to host this big show now, but I've never written a script. I've never. Oh shit! I just have to smile and wave and hope they don't. That's not a good way to, because you have the most amazing job, but you feel shit about it.
I see.
And yeah.
Because you do have a lot under your belt when it comes to, as we said, hosting in the beginning, from radio shows. Now it's Senkveld, which is the largest, on Norwegian TV.
Yeah, and I left that.
You when?
Right before the summer. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So talk me through that.
It was a really hard decision to make. Probably the hardest I've done in my like professional career. But when I started out doing, like, I was doing stage stuff, I stumbled into TV. I was like, okay, I can be here for a while. But when it started going started going well into television, I was like, okay, same as with my training, I need this big goal. So I said, one day I will host Senkveld, like that. It's been hosted for by the same host for like 17 years. Yeah. When they say goodbye, I want to be in a position to lead that show. And suddenly, I came into that position and I took over the show, and I was just like, oh my God, this is not what I want to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What aspect? What aspect made you think that?
I think because the format is very strict. Like, it's been the same for like 15, 17 years. And the TV company would like it to stay that way. Like, do not make too much waves that kind of scares away. Because when change happens,
people are scared.
People are scared, and they're scared of, like, will the commercial actors back away? And what will happen here? So you instead of being in an attacker position, where like, I'm gonna show them, you suddenly find yourself in a defender position where like, please don't. I don't want to ruin this.
Right.
And that is for me, my personality kind of, it works very bad being in a defender position, because I always want to push the boundaries. I always want to be that guy in the office, like, can we just turn this shit upside down, do something else? How can we do this to make it grow and evolve? And
hyper creative minds look for breaking molds.
Yeah, and like, being a creative person it's a curse and a gift. Right. Like, mostly a curse sometimes, because you don't fit in. No. Because people want your creativity. Yeah. That's good, but I don't think they realize that they don't want you, because you're a constant. You're a
wild card.
You're a fucking itch. Yeah. Because whenever things are
what
going...
a great compliment.
Yeah, because whenever things are going good, you're the one who says, I know it's going good, but can we do something? I know this, we've done 5 of these, it's going good, but now maybe people have seen enough. Can we do something else? Now we have to push the boundaries, and when people think they know where we're at, we need to kind of, no, we're at this other place now, and... so you're a constant itch. I think so. And
it's true. TV shows like stability, because stability is longevity.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And creative persons, like entrepreneurs and stuff, they want to have the vision. They want to build the firm, but they don't want to be the CEO. They don't want to be like...
They all go to innovation within that company.
Yeah, they want to build it up, be the visionary, and get a good CEO
Yeah.
to run the company, and
Yeah.
then make something else,
Yeah.
because that's the creative force. They
Yeah.
wanna, what can we make? Like the whole joy comes from making something that isn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, taking a void and like, let's put something in here.
Right.
Not having like this cup and see, okay, can we paint this cup red? And can we put some tassels on it? That's probably the most crazy
do.
thing we can do with a cup. But like the creative person want to say, okay, take away the cup. Can we make something like completely different?
That
that-
scares away investors and TV
Yeah,
producers.
yeah, but the cup works. Yeah, but screw the cup. Let's change the way people drink coffee.
Yeah.
There's a new thing now. It's a shoe. There's also a coffee cup, so
Yeah.
you can take off your shoe and drink coffee with it.
It's scary for them.
It is.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, and it's you always when you're a creative person, you always have you're always in the position that you have to make people see it, and constantly like, this is my vision. I need to find all the tools available to me to make you see it as well. So it's an interesting place to be. But for me, I love that. I love that grind and that uncertainty, and that the feeling of tomorrow might be an amazing day where something happens or something goes to shit.
Right.
But the feeling of, okay, I'm just gonna keep the lights on. I don't want to make anyone upset or rock the boat. I just want every day to be like safe and good. I cannot live that way.
Right.
And that is just my personality, because I sometimes wish I had that. Like,
Yeah.
if the day is going smooth, 10 points. But for me, it's like I need to,
You need the challenge.
yeah, to break the
Yeah.
routine. I need to, if I look at something and I don't like, if people pitch me a TV show and there's one thing within it that I don't like, and I say like, this is amazing, but I think we need to take this thing out. And they're like, no, but this is the format. And I'm like, but this thing doesn't work, so why don't we put something else? And they're like, we can't do that. I'm like, okay, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah, then you're out.
Yeah, and it sometimes kind of baffles me how many people look at a thing and people say that's just the way it is.
I
And
hate that sentence.
and people kind of accept that. Okay, all right, so then let's just run with it. I have a more rebellious
But it's
side.
people like you that move the needle. Let's be honest. That's just the way it is. Has
Horrible.
never gotten us anywhere.
No,
Except from where we are.
yeah.
So all the people who crossed the Pacific, all the people who migrated, found new lands,
It's impossible. You cannot do that.
it has always been so.
Yeah. 50 other guys have tried. Why should you succeed? And and that's also
Exactly.
yeah.
This is why we need this type of people. We need innovators, people who push the needle, people who say, that's the way it has always been. That is why it has to change.
Yeah,
Not-
and if 20 guys before me has tried the same and failed, then I should be number 21 then,
Yeah.
because I don't think they had the same thing as me.
Exactly.
And you have to have this strange conviction. Like, if people say hundreds of people have tried to swim this lake, why should you do it? And you have to have the crazy kind of almost like
Yeah.
a mental illness
Yeah.
of a conviction that says like, okay, I see those 100 people, but I don't think
Right.
they have my mind and my tools.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, it reminds me of two quotes. The first is, what's the difference between a madman and a genius? The genius succeeds.
Yeah. It is.
But then the second quote is, well, it's not really a quote. It's more like an event that proves no matter how many madmen fail, you might be the genius to succeed. And that is, you remember, okay, I have forgotten the year, but you know the 3-minute mile.
What is that?
Oh, no, the 1-minute mile, I think. Now I've forgotten how long it takes to run a mile.
Yeah.
That shows you I'm a sprinter at heart.
Yeah.
I stick with my 60
100
and
meters,
100 meter
boom.
man.
Yeah.
Or was it a 4-minute mile? Anyways,
Because a 1 minute mile, I think that's
too much.
no.
Like it's too fast,
A
right?
1 mile is 1.6 kilometers.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah.
So, what date was the 4-minute mile broken? What date? What year?
1954.
1954.
If you look at the statistics, okay, perfect. If you look at the statistics, the 4-minute mile was considered before 1954 as an impossibility of the human physique to conquer.
Yeah.
The year it was broken, I think within the next 5 years, the amount of people who broke it skyrocketed. It was like a mental collective barrier that broke.
Yes.
Fast forward to today, high schoolers are breaking their 4-minute mile.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What happened?
It is. I don't know what it's called. I guess it's just like an enormous collective anchoring.
Yes.
Because anchoring is an amazing concept. If you have a business and you say our budget is 10 million, it would be crazy if we made 10 million. You would probably earn about 10 million. If you said 15 million, 14, 15, maybe. If you say 20, maybe 17. Because you have to, if you anchor it in people, and if you say to people 1 mile in 4 minutes,
Right.
that is practically impossible. So if you're almost breaking it, you're feeling like, oh, I'm at the threshold now. But if you say like 30 seconds, if you then come into close to a minute, you're like, okay, but I can go faster because somebody has made it in 45 seconds. So it's definitely possible. I just need to work out more and find what is it that's missing.
It's almost like, have you heard about the law of averages? Like if we're bound and destined to hit the average. So don't shoot for the average, raise the roof.
Yeah,
we had an amazing guest here. He runs Portal 1 with his brother. It's like a gaming show. Yeah, and Stig Olav spoke about this law of averages and how instead of aiming for 70% sales this quarter or a 5-minute mile, because the 4-minute mile is impossible.
Yeah.
Aim for a 3-minute mile, you will hit a 4-minute. You raise the roof, so your average is more than what's required.
Yeah.
And the fact that the collective broke the mold altogether just reinforces this statement that you cannot say it has always been so, thus it will always be so.
No.
Up until one person breaks it, then everyone, including high school kids, are going to do it.
Yes.
It's a very nauseating statement.
It is, and it works in grand scale.
Yeah.
But people have to remember it also works in like the smallest scale.
The individual.
Like I really don't want to take credit for this, but when I took over the Norwegian Idol show, like it had always been done by 2 hosts, and when I was put in the mix, they auditioned me with a lot of hosts. And we didn't kind of find the chemistry. And I said like, why don't I just do it myself? And people were like, no, we need a co-host. And I kind of just insisted like, but I think I'll do a better job myself because I don't have.
You're the itch now.
Yeah. Because I don't think like because I don't have that who finishes my sentences is like there's those guys, and they agreed with it. And since there's only been 1 host in Norwegian Idol.
Wow.
And the same thing, like I said, I don't want to use cue cards. I want to try to remember the whole thing. And they were like, no, we want you to do the cue cards. But I'm more free without the cue cards. And I stopped doing the cue cards. And afterwards, like I saw some other hosts like, all right, dropping their cue cards.
But I mean, it's clear who started it. Take credit.
Yeah. But
you don't want to take it? I'm giving credit right now. We're here with the guy who started.
Yeah, but that's what like talking about the small scale stuff that you don't think about it, but there's a small like okay, there's this guy doing his business just like a little bit different. I want to try this. Oh wow, that makes a big difference here.
I will bring this example because I mean we spoke about occlusion training. You obviously know the company and all. I'll bring this example because in our research and development years with Votwear, the clothing brand. We got a lot of this question, why you guys?
Yeah.
We got a lot of this question, how come you guys? The whole world has not innovated this. How come you, at the time, 22-year-old medical student, has the world's first innovation in muscle growth technology?
Yeah.
Every single investor we pitched gave us that answer. And then I said, why not?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they couldn't answer that question. Why not us?
Yeah.
Why not a 22-year-old guy from Norway, medical student? It's almost perfect. And then they were like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we will see, I guess.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today. I mean, forget about the fact that we're the leading and the world's fastest growing occlusion training wear company, but we have inspired multiple to take on the mantle within this technology.
Of course.
3 companies in Britain, 1 in the US. Now it's not a question of if now. It's a question of like the movement is too massive.
Yeah.
But again, like the 4-minute mile, someone had to break it first.
Yep. And that guy was a complete madman for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break that record. Why do you even bother? It's impossible. That guy who did it was like a freak of nature. He had amazing, perfect running physique. Like, forget it. No, I think I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And
I remember back then in the 50s, they thought sitting in a train of like 300 kilometers an hour. Well, it wasn't the 50s, but it was a time before bullet trains. They genuinely thought that those speeds will kill a person.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you're in a train, in a cabin. It doesn't
No,
work
but
that
their
way.
skin will be ripped off by the velocity.
So it's like science and human capability is always increasing and growing.
Yeah.
So never put nevers.
No, and I think that you should always kind of trick yourself by saying that as often as you can. If people say like this is very hard, or this is almost we've tried this before, didn't work, like always question that like thoroughly.
Exactly.
Thoroughly. If there's we don't do that in our company because we've tried it before. Then instead of just saying, all right, yeah, I understand, try to be that itch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, why didn't it work? All right, but okay, I see the fallacy here,
Right.
but you didn't include this thing. Could we try again, but just with a little tweak? All right, okay, it worked. Can we tweak
like
it a
that.
bit?
I
And
like that.
suddenly that thing that had never worked, nobody had, this people left when we started doing this thing. Suddenly that's the greatest thing ever because you just cracked that little thing that didn't work. So yeah, it's question.
Right.
Be the itch.
So how do you inspire people to be the itch? Because it's like, oh, I don't want to bother. Oh, I don't want to be the outlier.
Yeah. So the hardest thing about inspiring people to be the itch is that it comes with a responsibility.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be the itch, you have to kind of stand. You have to go the mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't say, I don't like this, we should change this, and just back off, because
No.
you have to be that constant. Okay, I see that we've deviated a bit of for the plan. Why didn't we stick with it? Well, let's get it back on track again.
Right.
And you have to kind of convince people all the time, and it's hard work. It's tiring, but if it works, like it all pays off, like every time. You for yourself, like you in your bed, you're thinking like, oh man, I'm so glad I did that, and now people see it, and it's a great sense of fulfillment. But you have to do a lot of you have to kind of be comfortable being that. Oh shit, there is this guy again. But people need you. That's what I said. Like people need your colleagues, like people who don't want to speak up. If you do, maybe they don't speak up, but inside themselves they're like, fuck, go man.
Good.
Yeah, go. So I think that it's not as unpopular as you think, and if your boss thinks you're an asshole, that's not the biggest deal.
No.
Like, because you're having yourself, and you're having your colleagues that you work with every day. If they kind of pep you on, like, yeah, like I support that, but I'm not gonna speak up in the boardroom, but I support you. That's the most important thing, I think.
I think you have a really good relationship to failure. I think to be a successful stand-up comedian, failure needs to be either erased from your vocabulary or the perspective has to be changed completely. I mean, the fact that you are an itch to begin with, you're putting your neck on the chopping block and saying, by the way, this thing that failed, let's push it, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that most people, when they find something steady and secure, like hosting Senkveld, I don't know if your kids were born at the time.
Yes, they were. Like my daughter got born like the first week I was doing the
Right.
show. Yeah.
Most people will be like, okay, I got now mouths to feed. This is solid and predictable. I'm staying. Here you are going, all right, let's roll the dice again.
Yeah.
So what gave you this positive relationship on failure? Like, this is not something I believe, this is not something that you're born with.
No, I don't think that. I don't think you are born with it, and I think it is exposure to failure that is really important, because if you try to avoid failure at all costs, you don't get to know failure. You kind of need to know that. I call it a guy, like that guy.
That douche.
Yeah, that douche. Because the more time you meet him, you kind of like, all right, I know how you work now, and I know I know how you tick, and of course you get a bit desensitized.
That's very important.
It is
desensitized to failure.
Desensitized. So failures don't feel that bad after a while, and you like, that's the great thing of me starting out being a stand-up comedian, because that is, if you're doing 5 shows a week, nobody knows who you are. You're doing a show in a village someplace where people are wearing cowboy hats, and like you when you go into the room, you know, like they hate my face. I can see it right away, and you have to kind of convince them to like you and then laugh at you, and a lot of times it doesn't work. You feel your soul being ripped out.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, you're doing some shows and suddenly a guy walks up on stage, steals the microphone, starts singing Country Roads. You've seen failure from a lot of different perspectives. Like, if you've done like 500 like stand-up shows. So when I entered television, like my first gig was like a live gig, and that was amazing to me, because if things didn't go as planned, I had like 500 examples of like people coming up on stage, like people puking in the
material.
Stuff happening, and as you get kind of good at it, that doesn't faze you. You're like, oh, there's 2 guys fighting. Let's talk about them. Let's make a joke about there's 2 people fighting back, and like the crowd laughs, and you kind of take everything in and you convert it into energy.
Exactly.
So when I was doing live TV, that was I suddenly realized how good that training had been, because if like you have an earpiece when you're doing live shows, they're like, something happened, like the next artist is 2 minute delayed. You just have to talk. Most people would be like, holy shit, I don't have a script, I just have to talk into the camera and to the judges for 2 minutes. But for me, that was like, all right, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And I felt kind of at home in the whole space, because I was on stage and I was talking and joking, and that brings me back to the point we were talking about earlier. If you don't have that foundation, that is terrifying. That's a horrible day at work. But
that's actually what you avoid if you don't have the foundation.
Oh wow, yeah, you really don't, you don't want to be there. You want to sink into the ground. But yeah, that constant exposure to failure makes you kind of immortal, because you like, if anything happens now, it goes to shit, and it's, if it really goes bad, it's not that bad. I will feel like, oh wow, that was a little bit embarrassing, but it wears off. So you have to seek not failure, but keep trying to put yourself in in situations where it could be great, but it could also fail. You have to have that duality.
Because that is where purpose is found. Purpose is found in the center of maximum responsibility and accountability. And isn't that literally the other side of failure?
Yeah, it is.
Responsibility and accountability.
It is.
Flip the coin, failure is on the other side.
It is, and that is, I'm in love with that.
Yeah.
I don't think I can eliminate that from my life. If I do something, it has to have that flip side of the coin. I will put all my effort into this, and it could be the greatest thing ever, but it could also be total failure.
Is this why you have, I mean, it makes sense now why you have this 200 party of the squat and the deadlift. It is literally a goal that you might fail.
Yeah.
You have had an injury, but it's also on the flip side, accountability, purpose, a challenge, and growth.
Yeah. And if I if I make it,
Right.
there's no one else than myself that's
Right,
like,
right.
holy shit, I did it.
When you make it, by the way.
Well, yeah, when I make it.
When
Yeah,
we,
yes.
We manifest with words here.
Yeah, come
man.
on, come on. When? I'll try it tomorrow.
Well, easy now. I know there's
He
a doctor
died.
here, but we
Yeah. We couldn't publish the episode because he died.
That was the last time we,
Yeah.
we saw
He
him.
tried doing 300 squat after doing
Jesus Christ.
yeah. This is the last interview. Yeah.
That's a good title. The
Yeah,
last
The
interview.
last interview. Yeah.
No, but I admire that because we need more of it on Earth. We need more of, you know what? I'm going to go towards this direction.
Yeah.
All odds are against me, but the slimmer of growth that I may get is worth it. We
Yeah.
need more of this than I get anxiety with, the pressure on me right now. So I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stick in my comfort zone.
Yeah, and I really don't think that everyone should do it because somebody, like most people, think that like they don't have that.
Capacity.
Yeah,
or-
but most people are like, okay, as you said, things are going great right
Right.
now. I just wanted to stay
Right,
this
right,
way.
right.
That gives me happiness. If
Right.
people around me are happy, I'm having a good job, good relationship with my colleagues. Like, I don't say that if you have that, you have to kind of try to fuck it all up
Right.
like I do. But the point is, if you have that, like the fire burning inside of yourself, and you know every time you wake up, like, I should be doing something else, or I have this thing that I really want to do with, like, at my workplace. I have this idea, but
A calling, a longing.
yeah, along that you like every time you come home from work, you're like, I really want things to change. If you have that, that's when I tell you to. You have to become the itch again.
I like that.
Yeah, because that thing will never settle. It will I think it would turn into bitterness, because you're like, I had the opportunity for so long to do this,
Right.
but I never took it because it's a hassle, and you envision all the loops you have to run through to get to this point, and you're like, I don't.
Bitterness is bad, man.
It is horrible. It's the worst thing.
And I don't think I've seen how bitterness gets passed down in generations, where you have someone who is bitter because they didn't, let's say, fulfill their dream in wrestling, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they push it on their kids so hard. The kid never wanted it, or maybe they did want it, but either way, it's irrelevant because that bitterness is passed through
I know.
and passed down.
It's toxic. It's really toxic.
I do believe that and like you're saying, if you have that itch, don't get bitter. It's better to go for it and fail, because with failure, there's no bitterness. It's more like understanding.
Oh yeah, it's no bitterness,
No.
and that's the great thing about trying and failing.
Yeah,
It hurts, definitely.
Of course.
It hurts, but it gives you some data.
yeah,
You have tried it, failed. You can look at it. You can see like what made it fail. Was it me? Was it this thing?
Yeah.
You have a data set to kind of analyze, and when you try it again, you're better equipped.
yeah.
But
Because sometimes trying and failing shows that you were way off. Like
like way off. Like I still want to do
Right.
this thing, but the way I did it, wow, I will not do this thing again.
Exactly.
But I still think there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
But I will all of this, get it away, try a whole new thing. But yeah, because bitterness is the worst thing about it is that it closes off the future. That's what I experience with bitterness. People who are bitter, they live in the past. They're like, I should have done this. Like
Right.
if I had only done this thing, then I would have money for
Right.
this thing. The bitterness keeps them anchored in the past. But people who are not bittered. There's my amazing English again. Bittered. Bittered.
Sounds like a very nice spread on the bed. Could you pass me the bittered, darling?
The bittered.
Bittered.
But no. But if you fail, that kind of water under the bridge. Like
exactly.
that's processed. You're done
Exactly.
with that, and you can now think about what's the next thing I'm gonna try. but the bitterness kind of stops you from going forward, because you're always like, if I only had done that, then I wouldn't be here, and I'm at this job now because I didn't take that chance a while back, and that's the worst thing I see. Like, it really it makes me so sad, because I would want this person to kind of like, okay, but that happened.
Yeah.
That happened. You cannot change it.
Yeah.
You have to forget it. We need to look forward. But it's really hard, because bitterness sets in big time. Yeah, it kind of takes over your body.
And what's funny is, so a lot of the time I do work, because I work as they call it fastlege, which is family practitioner, family doctor. But sometimes I also get missions as an emergency doctor, like legevakt, or in CKM, which is for retirement, old people's homes, chronic illnesses, comorbidities. And in those jobs, I learn a lot about regret. I learn a lot about bitterness, and I learn a lot about the what ifs. Because a lot of them are talkative, a lot of them are lonely, and a lot of them are like, what is your kind doing in my room? And I'm like, I give them a chance.
Yeah.
Do you mean doctors?
Yeah, kind of.
We'll go with that. I didn't pay this much to have your kind in my room. I'm like,
are you gonna steal my medicine?
I'm like, Dorothy, you need me. Like, I'm here to help you.
Take everything.
Once I had one of them, this one was so funny. I had to bite my lip. Like, don't laugh, don't encourage.
Yeah, like with a kid. Like,
right.
don't laugh at the farting sounds.
Exactly. This one was funny because it wasn't like, I expect everything, but I didn't expect this because I had never gotten it before. And they were like, where are you from? And I go, what do you mean? Like, Oslo? And then she goes like, she just shakes her head, looks down and like, don't play this game. Well,
I've lived a long life, sir. My eyes work perfectly.
She's like, don't play. Where are you? She goes, what country were your parents born? I'm like, okay, she has played this game.
Yeah.
And then I go, well, genetically, my dad is Russian, my mom is West African. Her next answer or question or remark was what made me go, that's amazing. She goes, I'm sorry.
Wow. That
I'm
wow.
like, so exactly. I'm like, so many roads to travel down right now.
Yeah, should we go? Let's just leave it at that.
So I go, okay, this is exciting. I want to keep playing this game.
Yeah.
So I go, she goes, I'm sorry. I go, what for?
Yeah.
Like, what? She goes, it's a horrible thing, isn't it?
Like what?
Being both.
Like what? Both what?
And I'm trying not to laugh because I have never gotten this.
No.
I have gotten all sorts of get out of my room.
Yeah,
I've gotten the N-word. These are like, I'm used to.
Yeah, the daily snacks.
But freaking, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Pity? Apologizing?
Yeah, because it's just so, like, okay, let's try. Sorry for what? Being both, like Russian and West African, which one do you do you hate both of them?
That's my point.
Yeah. Are you like, this is the worst from
both worlds?
Yeah. Like, what is it?
So I was like, no, I'm actually quite happy.
Yeah.
And in fact, if I could choose, I would choose what I am. And then she goes like, no. You don't have to say that here.
This is a safe space, okay? Mehdi, you can talk to me. Like,
there are no cameras.
Yeah, come
Your
on.
parents are not here.
Yeah, stop
You don't
it.
have to say that. And I'm thinking, this 98-year-old woman is really kicking my ass right now.
Yeah.
Because this is fascinating. It's amazing. And then I go, no, I mean it. And then she goes, listen, the best advice I can give you, gift deg med en norsken.
Did you say that?
She said that, marry a Norwegian.
Yeah. So that would change my heritage? Or what would that change?
So
I'm still half like Russian, and like,
what is the advice? Like,
I would be a half Russian, half West African with a Norwegian. That would be not change anything. not change
Bro.
anything, Dorothy.
I died.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I broke here, obviously. I started laughing.
Yeah.
And then she was like, trust me, that's the best advice. And then she turned the door and then she goes, now leave or I'll call security.
Wow.
So I was like, I thought we had something, Dorothy.
Dorothy. Wow.
So obviously
if you're
leave.
listening, Dorothy, God damn it. God damn it.
She's listening, but not from the mortal plane.
Oh, right. Okay. I should look up then.
Up?
Yeah, oh, no, sorry.
I'm joking.
that-
Prayers
yeah,
for
yeah,
Dorothy.
yeah.
Nothing but love in our
No,
hearts.
but that is amazing, and that sense of certainty. No.
But this is
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
This is a huge deviation.
No, but it's amazing. It is amazing.
But you learn so much at the end stage of life,
Yeah.
more than one could learn in the beginning stage,
Yes.
let's say in a pediatric department.
Yeah.
And one of the major things I saw that, the PTSD patients or the Alzheimer's patient or the dementia patients, usually when they have a chronic illness that, is based on atrophy of the brain, there's a memory that haunts them. It's a loop,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
With PTSD patients, it's obvious what the loop memory is.
Yes. The trauma.
That's obvious. But with Alzheimer and dementia patients, it was quite fascinating that the loop was always lack and regret.
Mm. Wow, that saddens me.
Right?
Yeah, it does.
Because now you're not only lacking, let's say, when I said lack and regret, I mean,
I should have had this,
Yes.
or like more time with
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
but they experience it every day, like it's fresh.
Man. Yeah.
Isn't that the definition of hell?
It is. Like I would say that, and it's so tough to kind of be around. Like even if you love this person more than the world, it's so
Right.
hard to be around because you cannot fix that.
No.
And that is the hard thing about like regret, bitterness, is that it doesn't seem like you can do anything to, because then you'd have to travel back in time to help this person, and you feel helpless around them as well, because you kind of want to motivate and like, yeah, we can still let's try to make it happen now. Could we like try to find the solution? But no. We're still back. That thing I wanted was 10 years ago, and I still think about that, and I will always do it.
It's heavy.
It is heavy. So yeah, definition of hell, definitely.
And it literally inspired or teaches us, or at least me, what I took away from that was eliminate lack and regret in your life, and understand at least that, pursue certain things, and if it's not the will of God, it's not.
Yeah.
Cut it early.
And it's that easy. Like it's that hard and that
Right,
easy.
right.
Like if it works, it works great. If
Right.
it doesn't, okay, we've tried it. Let's try something else. Let's and I don't know if my brain is kind of put together in a strange way, but even the things I've done that was really bad for me, like career wise and so forth, I've never kind of regretted them. Like, I should never have done things. I can reflect upon like that was a bad choice, but it kind of led me here. So I would never eliminate that. Like even if I spent 2 years doing something that I should really not have done, that kind of. But that talking about the data, I now have that data forever. Like every time I encounter something that resembles that, I was like, no, I know this because I have this data set, and this kind of matches that. So no.
And that's why if you get dementia, I don't think you would have that loop.
No, because people are horrible at expecting what would, like, that is one of the human flaws. Because like expecting, we are good at envisioning a future, but it almost never it's almost never what we think it is. So
wait. So we're good at envisioning it, but obviously we miss the target.
Yeah, because like it's, I don't, the English word is hedonistic adaptation.
Right.
Yeah. So if you think that if I get this job, I will be 10 of 10 happy, and you get the job, and I call you in 1 year, I was like, was it 10 of 10? You would say like, no, I was like probably 7 out of 10. And if you say to me, I would be fucking devastated. if I don't get that job. That would be like a 2 out of 10. I call you in 1 year, you would say, no, wasn't that bad. I'm at like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So we're good at envisioning, like we can look into the future and like, yeah, I will have that office and things will be this way, and I'll
So
do
it's
this.
almost like overestimating the bad and underestimating the good.
Yes, that is the great human flaw.
Wow.
So if you that bitterness ties into that as well, because you think that if I had taken that path, things would be insanely good. Like you've already pictured that life, but that is not that is it would might as well
flawed.
it might as well be the worst thing you ever had.
Exactly.
Because people don't let that thought in, that if I took that path, maybe my life would be like a lot worse.
So what you're saying is maybe I should thank that high school advisor.
Maybe.
Because we never know. Maybe it made A happen and thus B, and then certain things happen.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because
I really like that.
if I'd asked you before, like if you have to be set back 2 years now, that would make you feel like, yeah, that would be 0 out of 10,
right,
like end of the life. That
Right.
horrible. But if I ask you, like after you've done that,
Right.
like was it that bad? It was pretty bad, but like 3, 4 out of 10. So it's not that bad.
I love that as perspective.
Yeah.
I really do, because it makes you detached from outcomes.
Yeah, and I think that's what people need to know as well. Like I don't know, you should always kind of be excited and like
Right.
you have to have that. This would be great, but if you missed the opportunity, it could might as well be like okay
Right.
or not as good.
Right.
But you always envision the thing
Better.
being amazing. 10 out of 10. If I get this promotion, woo, my life is set. All my worries are gone. No, they're probably not. They're
You're still a douchebag, probably, who needs working on.
yeah. So you kind of
Yeah. No, I agree. We do have this Disney romanticized view of the future.
Yeah.
Pursuit of happiness. Actually, we spoke about this recently, how I do disagree on the ideology that man's purpose of life is the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, it's like, how dare you? Like, what are you saying? Are you saying we shouldn't be happy?
But no,
No. Because the pursuit of happiness, what does that mean? In essence, it means that the goal is happiness.
Yeah.
But that's not realistic in a world of suffering.
No, and saying the pursuit of happiness, that kind of tells you that happiness is like further down the line. It's not here. We're chasing it, and that fucks you up, because if you think that happiness is the next job, the next thing that like you forget about.
Exactly.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah.
You're pretty happy right now. Aren't
Change your
you?
state of mind.
Yeah, aren't you happy now? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy now. Then stop chasing. Just continue doing the things that make you happy, and you're there. You've achieved the goal.
Yeah.
So it's like if you get 2% more happy if you chase this thing, yeah, maybe, or not. But you're constantly more happy if you're in the moment, and
Right.
yeah. So like the last couple of years, I've done all the cliche stuff. I've been
Right.
practicing mindfulness, all that stuff. Like
It's cliche, but it's needed. Man.
yeah, but before I was like, I don't need that. I have a clear mind. But as soon as I started doing it, I was like, okay, this stuff actually works.
Yeah.
Like just before.
How do you practice it?
Very like low scale. Before I go to bed, I take like 5 minutes to kind of think about. Okay, I'm really happy that I'm with my beautiful wife, like my kids. I have an amazing job. I'm healthy. Like I just try to kind of remind myself of wow, like things are pretty amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, because I could go to bed like thinking of like a big decision and like feel sore about myself. Like oh wow, it's pretty tough right now. But like those 5 minutes kind of rinses the mind, because you like you feel the shoulders like okay, all right. So if this thing doesn't go well, we still have this amazing life.
Yeah.
And
your core gratitude points don't change.
No, because if you think about what do I have now, and you realize that like this is good. Like if I think about all the things I have now, a beautiful wife that that I love more than everything, my kids and a job, and I got friends that I can call, and they will come over to my place if I said I need you right now.
Wow.
I was like,
What else?
why am I afraid of like this new job?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
I like it. This
Yeah.
is the perspective that I feel instills the drive you need. It instills also the courage needed in being the itch that you are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you are detached to outcome because you have that gratitude, that foundation to fall back on.
Yeah.
It is actually pretty, what should I say? It's pretty inspiring, and I feel the new generation needs this.
I think so. Yeah.
They're too attached to outcome, too attached to instant gratification now. Like everything's on the rise in terms of suicide rates and depression.
Yeah. And I totally get that.
But at the same time, what's on the decline is poverty in these same countries.
Like everyone's having, people are having like a great time if they stop and look at like, okay, if you're I know when I was 17, 18, I did not practice like mindfulness, anything. I was just like a loose gun. But I think if they had just a sliver of those tools, it would make a huge difference. Just like, it doesn't really matter if you said that I'm gonna be this great thing.
Right.
That doesn't define you. That's just a title, or okay, maybe that would be great. But it's the everyday stuff. Like, do I enjoy this day?
Yeah.
Like, do I not go to soccer practice because basketball is cooler and that would like make me one of the cool guys? Well, that will not give you happiness.
No.
Like, if people think you're cool, that will not bring you happiness. Doing the thing you love, that's what brings you happiness.
Yeah.
And if you could throw some magic dust on all the young people, that would make them realize that, like, people getting bullied, and they would also have like this set of tools, like the sense of self. Like, okay, you say that I'm a nerd, but I really love the nerdy stuff, so I'll just wear it as a
badge of honor.
A badge of honor. Yeah, I am a nerdy guy.
Yeah.
I love doing these things and programming stuff. I'm a good. I will do great things one day.
Amazing.
So,
and that comes back to what you were saying with purpose.
Yeah, and not and never thinking that your purpose is wrong.
No,
because my purpose is not your purpose.
Exactly.
So if you're asking me advice of how to become the next Elon Musk, I wouldn't know. Do not ask me. But if you know that you're going to be the next Elon Musk, that is enough, because you know what your path is. And if people say, you're going to be the next Elon Musk, you're crazy. If you know that they're wrong, you will be kind of immortal, exactly. I would say. Yeah.
Or even better, you will be the first Stian Blipp, right?
Yeah.
Because before Musk, who was?
Yeah, who was?
He was the first
Nikola Tesla.
Oh.
Yeah.
The man knows his culture. You are cultured, my friend. Very much so. So, I know you have a show soon.
Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, shit. Yeah, I really do.
I know. So, just to kind of like wrap this beautiful thing in a bow.
Yeah, we've been places.
We've been places.
Yeah, let's try
We've
to wrap
seen
it up.
horrible things.
We came out of it.
So, I would really like you to... We spoke about how certain things can be passed down into, generations. And this spark you have, this mentality, it's obvious that you have kids and it's definitely going to be passed down. So what would that look like if you had to put it into words?
The thing is that it's always hard to make your kids do the same path as you have done, because like I have already provided like a more, what could I say, safe environment for my kids than I had growing up. So they will never get that. Like, I don't think they will be as creative because I had a lot of hardships growing up that kind of made me think different, made me the way I am. They will have like a more safe safe life. They will not I think I have to work for them, and realizing that hard work that is needed.
Right.
So like if I wanted to, I could give my kids like what they want.
Right.
but I have to kind of hold back
Right.
and say that, okay, but if you want this, we need to, like, if you do these things every day for a week, we can maybe get you that thing.
Amazing.
Like, yeah, kind of instilling that, yeah, I know that you want that, but you have to do these things to get it.
Yeah.
And therefore you get two things. You get the gratification of getting that thing, and you also get the link that if I actually do the work, good things will come. And not the other way around.
Exactly.
Like, I can do great things if I get the reward. No, that's not how it works.
That's
you
not
have
how
to
it-
first do it and then
Yeah.
afterwards.
Love it.
And I always pride myself on being silly with my kids. Like, at home, I'm walking around in crazy costumes and we're dancing, and just to kind of show them that like growing up is not like being proper, and like when you I hate when people tell kids like, but you're a big girl now, you cannot do these things anymore. And I'm the same with grown-ups when they're like, I cannot do that now, I'm a grown man. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. Why can't you do that? Do you think it's fun? Yeah, I love it. Yeah, then do it. Stop it. If you think it's fun to, like,
funny.
yeah, if you want to dress your whole family up in crazy costumes and have a costume party at the middle of the day, do it.
Right.
Everyone loves it. The only thing that is holding you back is that you're saying, like, I'm a grown man now. And so I try to be silly in front of my kids, and hopefully that rubs off, so that when they go to school, they kind of feel that being silly is not something that you should hide, or like being cool is just like being controlled and non-charismatic.
Right.
So yeah, I try to show them that this is a power, like daring to just run around in your underwear singing songs on Saturdays. That fun is, I really kind of want to, yeah.
You don't want to blunt that.
I don't want to blunt that, and I it's hard as shit. But
Yeah.
when my daughter, when she wants to do things that I'm like, oh, this is all right. So you want to wear a dress to kindergarten today? All right, yeah. I have to. I want to say, like, no, we cannot. We have to put on like a woolen.
Right.
We have
Minus 20.
Yeah.
I see your point,
Yeah.
darling, honey,
Yeah.
sweetie.
But I also I don't wanna like crush that sense of
No.
wonder. So I said, okay, all right, let's do that. But when we get to the kindergarten, you have to promise me that we take this. You have to take it on. If they say that you're going out,
Right.
you have to promise me to take it on, because either ways you get sick, and
Yeah.
I don't want you to get sick. Like, all right, yeah, that's a good deal. And there's a lot of those things that when you're in a hurry, and you see the kids have that like sense of wonder, like, oh, I can do this today, and you kind of want to say, no, you cannot. But yeah, I really don't want. I want them to think that like everything is possible,
Yeah,
even though it may be not.
exactly. As much as we love to hate Kanye, we do want that confidence to be in our kids.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
creative freedom and expression that he has.
Yeah, and I think that's that almost stupid, like, I can do anything
Exactly.
cliche. I think it's a good thing in the core,
Yeah.
as long as you're kind of you're humble, and
Of course.
yeah. So
Of course.
you can say, I can do this, no problem. And if you can't make it, you say like, oh, okay, I was maybe a bit like too cocky, and I apologize. If you get that balance, I think it's a
To work.
very healthy thing, because if people say, do you want to do this, and you say yes, but you don't have any clue, and you try it, and maybe I want it to be fearless, not in like the physical sense, but in the mental
In the
sense.
mental sense.
Yeah.
No, I think that you have embodied what you preach, quite well, and I am excited to know if or when you hit your goal on the weightlifting, man. You
Yeah,
have-
yeah.
Keep me updated.
I'll invite you to the 200
Oof.
party.
Then you've done it. 'Cause
Yeah.
You will not do it if I'm there, because it's like either you die or you succeed.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a doctor on site right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, I'm not leaving here until you do it. No, Ben, that would be epic. Thanks again.
Thanks again.
It has been a pleasure,
It was an honor.
and I will not hold you back, because you do have a show starting.
I'm on stage in 1 hour and 5 minutes. So
yeah, you gotta run.
Yeah.
All right, Hugh Jackman, everybody.
Oh shit!
No, thanks, man. Stian Blipp here, man.
Thank you.